Hi everyone, I am Charity and welcome to Chess Evolution. In today's video, we are gonna go through the greatest queen sacrifices of 2025. So without further ado, let's dive right in. This is a game between Grandmaster Didier and Grandmaster Erigaisi in the Grand Suites of 2025. In this position, White decides to play pawn to d7. The idea here is to give a check on b8 with the queen and then promote to a queen. And seeing this, Black simply took the free knight on d2 with the rook. After this move, White continues with their plan. They go b8, give the check, the king moves, goes a7, and then they promote to a queen. However, they did not know is that Black had checkmate in 6 moves here. And if you would like to try finding the winning move first, pause the video now. The winning move here is queen takes the pawn on f2. Check. Here, White has to capture with the rook because if they don't, Black has checkmating 1. Therefore, White captures and then Black gives a check on e1 with the rook. The king has to move. The only legal square is h2. And then they capture the free rook on f2 with the rook. Also leaving a check. The king has to move. The only legal square is taking the bishop on h3. Then Black gives another check on h1. The king has to move. Only legal square here is g4. And then Black gives a check with the pawn, going to f5. The king has to move. And then Black delivers checkmate, going with the pawn down on g6. This is a game between National Master Jackery and Grandmaster Magnus on chess.com during Title Tuesday. Here in this position, Jackery played queen to e2, threatening checkmate in 2. And then Magnus played bishop to d4, trying to trade off the bishops, and missing checkmate in 2. Therefore, if you would like to find the winning move that leads to checkmate in 2 first, pause the video now. The winning move here is queen takes the pawn on h5. We check, the king is forced to take, and then White delivers checkmate by placing the rook on h7. Here we have a game between Prague and Alexei in the Tata Steel of 2025. Here Prague is playing as White, while Alexei is playing as Black. And in this position, Prague has a brilliant move. And if you would like to try finding it out for yourself first, pause the video now. The brilliant move here is queen to b7 check. After this move, Alexei resigned. However, the idea is that Black has to capture the queen with the rook, and then White recaptures with the pawn. It's a check. The king only has one legal square, which is b8, and then White has checkmate by placing the rook on a8. In this game between Vladislav Artemiev and Magnus Carlsen in the World Rapid Championship of 2025, Magnus places the rook on f6, attacking White's queen, and here White has a winning move. And if you'd like to try and find it out for yourself first, pause the video now. The winning move here is rook to d8, ignoring the threat with the queen. After this move, if Black takes the queen on g6, here White can simply force checkmate by taking the bishop on f8. The king has to move and it's checkmate on h8 with the rook. Therefore, in the game, Maxim played bishop takes pawn on g2. White captured with the queen, and then Black took White's bishop on h6 with the rook. After this, White moved their queen, and then Black went back with the rook on f6. Then White played d5 check. The king moved, and then here Magnus resigned because he saw that he was losing a bishop and would be down a whole rook. Because then, like, let's just say White takes the bishop on f8, the rook captures, and then White recaptures, and it's up in material winning. In this game, Denis Lazovic is playing against Edis Gurel in the Turkish Super League of 2025, with Denis playing as white and Edis playing as black. Here, Edis played knight to e5, a brilliant move, threatening to take white's queen on g3. Then Denis played bishop to b2, and now black cannot take white's queen yet, because if he does take, white is simply winning by placing the rook on h8 is a check. The bishop has to take, and then white plays the other rook on h8, checkmate. Therefore, what happened in the actual game was black played queen to f2, check, sacrificing their queen. Then white took their queen with the rook on f2, and then here black finally took the white's queen on g3 with their knight. After this, white took black's bishop on g7 with their bishop, and then black took white's rook on f2 with their knight. Then white took black's knight on f2 with their king, and black took white's bishop on g7 with their king. And after the dust has settled, we can see that Edis is up an exchange, and in the next 30 moves, he ended up winning the game. We have the world champion Gukesh against grandmaster Grigory. And here, previously, Gukesh had sacrificed their rook for a bishop and a pawn, and now Gukesh plays queen to f5, threatening a tactic. However, Grigory missed the tactic by placing the rook on d8. And if you would like to try finding the winning move now, pause the video. The winning move here is queen takes the pawn on f6. Here black is simply losing, and there's not much black can do. So in the game, black decided to take the queen on f6 with the pawn, and that was just checkmate by white taking the pawn on f6. However, there are other things that black could have tried, and they are still losing. Let's just say instead they placed their rook on d7, trying to avoid the checkmate. Here white can simply take the pawn on h6 is a check. The bishop has to block, and then simply take the bishop with the queen, it's checkmate. Another thing that could happen is black decides to take the bishop on d4 with the rook. Here white must recapture with the queen, and white is up on material, and it has two passing pawns on their way to promotion. In the second game, we have Grandmaster Saleh from UAE and International Master Then from Japan in the FIDE World Cup of 2025. Here, black places the queen on h8, adding pressure to the h3 pawn, and now white places the knight on d5. After this move, black places the rook on e2, threatening to win the queen. However, this also allows for white to places the rook on a1, threatening checkmate. And here, black cannot take white's queen, because if he does, white simply has checkmate by placing the rook on a8. So instead, black decided to take the pawn on e6, preventing checkmate. After this, white went to a8 with the rook. The king had to move, and the rook simply captured the queen, and then black captured white's queen on e3, and white recaptured with their knight. And here white is up in material and winning. And that was it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Also, share this video with anyone that you think might find this helpful. Bye!